What's up, everybody? It's your man Danell, aka Small Guy Promotions, coming to you live with another episode of What's Up Omaha. And today I have with me Nichole Turgeon of Big Brothers Big Sisters, also known as BBBS. How are you doing today, Nichole?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for agreeing to do it. This is awesome. I'm a supporter of Big Brothers Big Sisters, so I love what you guys are doing. Any organization that's out in the community helping kids and trying to make our area a better place, I always support. So I try to as much as possible, at least. So
well, we appreciate all your support. Thank you.
It's great. And thank you for coming out in this wonderful weather that we're having today. Blizzard yesterday.
It's Nebraska.
Was your drive okay?
It was all right, yeah. The worst of it was actually getting in the parking lot here, so.
Yeah, that's when we pulled in the parking lot, I go, all right, well, so I just revved it up a little bit as I turned. But we got in safely. That's all that matters. We're here.
That's right.
The sun is shining now, and I think maybe some of the snow will melt away a little bit before it, hopefully too much won't freeze back on the streets. Some of that brine down or something, I don't know. All right, so the reason we're here to talk about Big Brothers Big Sisters and all the things that you do, we actually started talking before we began filming, and her last name is Turgeon, and so I said, hey, are you by any chance related to Jerry Turgeon? And she said, yes, I actually used to work for Jerry Turgeon, who's your father-in-law?
Yes.
Yes. So how long have you been married?
I have been married for coming up on 10 years.
All right, so she's been a Turgeon for 10 years.
Yep.
And I thought that name's not very common, so let me ask and see if she is related to Jerry. And of course, she said yes. Small Omaha, that's what we always talk about. You never know who you might run into that knows someone. It's that whole 6 degrees of separation.
That's right. Omaha's a very big, small town.
It is. And I enjoy that. Like we talked about too, sometimes you can go to the grocery store and run into someone that you hadn't seen for years and, hit off a new relationship, friendship, whatever. So
that's right.
That's a good thing about Omaha. So now about Big Brothers Big Sisters. How long have you been with the organization? And let me also say, before you answer that, she is the CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Let me accurately, give her title of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. But how long have you been with the organization?
I have been here for 13 and a half years,
okay.
Just about 8 years as CEO, and prior to that I was the development director, so okay. Fundraising and marketing.
All right. And how did you come into this world? Like what is it that appeals to you about Big Brothers Big Sisters?
I came to Big Brothers Big Sisters, I was working for another nonprofit here in town, and I really kind of sat down and considered what I care the most about. Mm-hmm. I felt like I have a skill set, I can raise money for anything technically. Yeah. But what do I care the most about? What am I the most passionate about? And for me, that was women and children. And so when the opportunity came open at Big Brothers Big Sisters, I threw my hat in and ended up
13
here.
13 years later.
That's right. And it's been, it has been truly amazing. The organization has grown so much in the time I've been here. So it's been a really exciting time to be a part of it. There's always more we can do, and there's more that we want to do.
Yes.
But we have grown a tremendous amount over the past 13 years.
Well, that's good. Have you guys always been in this location?
No, we have been here for about 11 years.
Okay.
Prior to this location, we were at 49th and Hamilton Street,
okay.
And we just outgrew our space. We are, I had one of our donors describe us as a people helping people model. So if we want to help more kids, we need more volunteers, and we need more staff to support those volunteers and the families that we serve. And we just had to move because we were out of space.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And especially if you have people coming here into the office.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I know you said that the organization is in need of more bigs, especially men.
Yes.
So what is that process like when someone comes in and says, hey, I want to volunteer with you guys, or I want to find out more information? What is that like?
So people can contact us by phone or online, social media, and if someone's interested in volunteering, the first step for them really is to come in. We offer what we call information sessions every week here at our office,
okay.
And sometimes we take our show on the road, but right now mostly we're here at our office in Old Mill, and people can come in. Those are about half an hour or so, get their questions answered, find out more about the commitment to be a big. If they decide it's something that they want to do, there is a training. We do an interview in the home, do background checks, reference checks, of course, all of those things. But we really want people to know, what being a big is like before they make that decision. So those information sessions are a great way to find that out.
And are those sessions like for individuals or are they groups?
They are groups, so individuals can come in. We also actually match what we call big couples with little brothers that are on our wait list, and so couples can come in together and learn about it. And we have couples that are big couples officially, and they're matched with one little brother together. We also have couples that come in and they decide they each want to take a little off the wait list, and so he'll have a little brother and she'll have a big little sister, and sometimes they do things all four of them together, and sometimes they do things on their own.
Are there some guidelines to that before they can do that, or is it just right away as soon as they start being bigs, they can?
We do want that one-on-one relationship established. That's a really common question. Yeah. So we have people that do have kids that volunteer with us, and they want to include their little in family activities. And we know that as these relationships grow, you're going to become part of each other's families on both sides. But that one-on-one time is important. So you want to take a little time to establish that bond. And even when our bigs and littles have been together for a while, if they're going to be doing things with the bigs family, we suggest maybe the big picks up and drops off the little just on their own. So they still get that time together. That's just the two of them.
That's cool. The focus is always on the little.
Yes.
So that's what we want people to remember. What is one of the things that you think like makes it hard to get people to come and volunteer? We talked a little bit about the time that it takes to volunteer. Maybe there's a misconception about how long it takes to be a big.
Yes, I think that there is. It's really interesting. People are always concerned about having enough time, and we appreciate people taking it seriously. Want to make sure they're not going to disappoint a youth. But we finally started. One of our staff members had the idea to just ask people when they said that, well, how much time do you think it takes?
Yeah.
And people were thinking it was hours and hours every single week. And what we actually ask our volunteers for is for 4 hours a month. They get together with their little brother or little sister 2 to 4 times a month. So it's really very flexible. Some people like to pick their little up every Saturday at 2 o'clock, and we're going to do whatever there is to do in town that Saturday at 2. Other people scheduled on the fly, maybe they travel for work or they have other commitments, and they do sometimes something after school, sometimes something on the weekends, but it's very flexible. And we're looking for 4 hours a month in total, which honestly, if you go pick somebody up and you go out for ice cream a couple times a month, not that you necessarily want to do that as your only activity, but that's going to be 4 hours by the time you drive around.
Maybe you really like ice cream. I don't know.
I might really like ice cream, possibly.
I just had ice cream last night.
In a blizzard. Why not?
So is it open for people who want to do more than 4 hours? I mean, if
Absolutely. I actually was just with one of our board members. She's new to our board of directors. She's been a big sister for almost 5 years now, and she shared with me that she and her little sister Evie get together for almost 4 hours a week. So you can do more. It just really depends on what age your little is, what else each of you has going on. We know youth come into our program as young as age 7, and they stay until they graduate from high school or turn 18. And our kids, they're in high school, they may have part-time jobs, maybe doing sports or activities, so that amount of time may go down a little bit.
And it kind of sounds like it's just all about communication. That's what it breaks down to. So people were not sure about how much time initially, and you guys started asking that question. Well, how much time do you think it takes?
Yes.
So that's what it is, communication. Flexibility and being able to work depending on the family schedule and your schedule. There's opportunities out here for you if you are interested. And if you're not sure, just come and check out one of the sessions. They're more than willing to have new people come and check the sessions out.
Yes.
They're called informational sessions, so come and get some information. What is like the biggest thing that you remember that like makes you feel good about what you do and all the children that are involved?
That is a great question. I am so lucky to be in a job where I get to have feel-good moments like that on a very regular basis. For me, because I've been here so long, there are kids I have gotten to see graduate from high school and go off to the military or go to pursue higher education that I remember when they were actually little. Now they're towering over me. But that's one of my favorite things. You emceed our brunch a couple of years ago where we recognize outstanding volunteers and our kids that are graduating. It is. It's a really good time. And to see these kids go off into the world, and they're big, even though they're not officially in the program anymore. We know those relationships continue.
Yeah, that's really great, and it's like it always, comes back because those kids grow through the system and they know what it's like, and then maybe they tell someone else, or maybe they become a big when they get to be an adult.
Absolutely.
Speaking of that, when they become an adult, what is the minimum age for being a big, or is there one?
There is. There's no maximum age.
Okay.
But we do want volunteers to be 19.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean.
Yeah, we need to be able to background check them and do all that stuff. So they've got to be 19, but otherwise, and there is no upper limit. We have some amazing bigs that are in their 80s.
There you go. Do you guys often get littles who become bigs at a later time?
We do have some. There's a couple that pop into my head right away. I don't know the number total off the top of my head, but I know we have some current bigs right now that were littles in the program. One of them I remember from when he was little, and got to see him graduate from high school, graduate from college, and now he's a big brother. And we have a former little sister who had some real challenges growing up, and so when she came to us, everybody gets to tell us kind of what they want to take on.
Okay.
What are their preferences? What do they like to do? We want to get to know everybody really well, and our team is amazing. They're kind of matchmakers.
Yeah.
Putting these bigs and littles together, and she said she wanted a girl that was going through some tough stuff, and so she decided to volunteer with our foster care program. And so she and her little sister have been matched for several years, and she's just this great, stable presence, and they have a blast together.
That's good. You love those success stories, and I think it's important for people to hear those things because, again, the communication and people not knowing really what to expect. Or maybe it's not even a time thing. Maybe they're just a little nervous about having that responsibility and not really understanding what the relationship is. So I think that would be great. If you can check out one of the sessions, please do. Even if you don't want to do that, you can go to the website or something like that and check them out. Come to some of the events that they do.
Absolutely.
And you said the brunch. I really was heartbroken that I couldn't do the brunch last year. It was the same day as an event that I had going on, so I couldn't do it. And I was like, oh no. I was trying to figure out a way I could make it work, but ultimately it didn't, and I hope it still was a success and
absolutely
a good time. So.
Not as good without you, of course, but
well, thank you.
We did okay.
This year, maybe. This year, I'll be open. Or do you guys have a date already?
I think we do. I almost want to say June 1st. It's that first weekend in June.
Ooh, I think I'm open June 1st because
right.
I think my event is on June 22nd, if I remember correctly for this year. So just throwing that out there if you guys need me.
Well, it's our 60th anniversary this year at Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Omaha, and so we're trying to infuse that into everything that we do. So the brunch, we want to make it bigger, include more people. We do a back to school event. Back to school picnic is what it has been in the past, and this year I think we're going to turn it into more of a block party and invite alumni. We know there's lots of former bigs and littles out in the community, folks that are interested in getting involved. So should be some great things coming up this year.
That's 60 years. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
A community organization, that is what Small Guy Promotions is all about, and why I love being able to help, especially with these videos and these interviews, to be able to tell that story to people who may not have heard it otherwise, even if it's just one person. That's all it takes.
That's right.
So you said locally 60 years. How long has Big Sisters been around nationally?
Nationally, it is over 100 years old. It may be even 120 years old. I don't know. I can't remember
That's all right.
the exact year of the founding, but both nationally and here in Omaha, it actually started out as Big Brothers. And so here in Omaha, we were started by a group of young guys. A couple of them are no longer with us, but in the time I've been here, I got to know our founders, and I loved it. One of them just said, we were too dumb to know that we couldn't start a Big Brothers program, so we figured it out and raised the money and did it. And then in the 70s, the YWCA actually started a Big Sisters program, and then the two programs merged to become Big Brothers Big Sisters. So.
All right.
Yeah.
And do you know how many? I know we talk about it at the brunch, but how many matches on average do you guys have per year?
So now we're serving close to 1,100 kids a year. I wish I could say I knew how many we've served over 60 years.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say we've got great record keeping from, the 60s and 70s, but I know
that's all right. The work is being done. That's the important part.
That's right. That's right. So we've grown a lot, serving nearly 1,100 kids, but we know the need is great. The kids we serve, or the youth we serve, are amazing. They have huge potential, and they just need another caring adult in their life that will help to defend their potential and help them explore the community and kind of their options for the future.
Yeah, and that's great. Do you ever have you talked about how to do the matches or how that works. Are there ever any instances where maybe like a match doesn't work and you have to get rematched?
Yes, so we will rematch. Our staff spends a lot of time getting to know everybody up front, tries to put together the just right match based on shared interests and everybody's preferences. But sometimes those matches don't work out. Every so often they look great on paper, and then we do the initial meeting and the staff is like, well, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
But also, somebody might move, a family could move, people get transferred. We've had a lot of bigs from the military, and they're mobile. We always try to make sure nobody knows of any plans to move in the next 12 months when they come into the program, but there's no guarantees in life. So if say a big moves away, if that little and their family want to continue in the program, then we'll just do an update interview and they'll get rematched. And if a little moves away or for whatever reason it doesn't work out, the big can go through the same process, expedited process, and get rematched. So
yeah, you answered two of my questions there. One was going to be, is there a thing with people who move away? And you talked about military. I was thinking about that because when we did the event at the Omaha Virtual Reality, one of the bigs said that her family is a military family. Because when she was speaking for the testimonial, I don't think I really heard her talk before that, but I could tell that there was an accent, and she said she was from Germany.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she's a military family, and I go, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. So then the second question was going to be the commitment. I didn't know, I was thinking it was a 6-month commitment, but it's a year.
It is a 12-month commitment, and we ask for that because we know there's a lot of research into the Big Brothers Big Sisters program and mentoring in general, and we know that the magic really happens at 12 months and beyond. All the good things you hear about mentoring, making better choices, better grades, better relationships with family and friends. We know that mentoring relationships that are under 6 months can actually be damaging to the youth. It's another person disappointing them.
That stability is what you need.
Exactly. 6 to 12 months you start to see some positive outcomes, but at 12 months and beyond is when you really see those. And so we do ask both the youth and their family and the volunteer for at least 12 months. Our average match length is probably about 2.5 years, but we've got youth graduating from high school in a few months who've been with their bigs since they were 7 or 8 years old. So we've got the whole gamut, but we don't want people to think they have to sign up for a decade.
One step at a time.
That's right. That's right.
That's so great. One of the things that I thought was really interesting was, maybe you think, oh, I'm not really that fun of a person, or I don't know what to do if I were to pick up a little and take them somewhere. But you guys have an app.
We do. We've got the big app. We actually, we know that our volunteers, for the most part, they're not youth development experts. We have a few, but that's not what people do. They're everyday people from all walks of life. And so our job is to make it as easy and as fun as possible to be a big and provide that support. So we have the big app. We have a Bigs Only page on Facebook and on our website. We get great tickets donated from individuals and corporations around the community, and so
Yes.
we pass those out to our bigs and littles. We actually have a full-time activities coordinator, and she handles those ticket donations and zoo passes and all of that, but she's also putting together probably at least 2 activities every single month. Always free for the kids. We fundraise to cover those costs, and we get great discounts from local businesses. And then most of the time they're free for the bigs. Sometimes we may ask them to contribute. Say if we're doing a ice skating event, then maybe they have to pay for their skate rental or something like that. But we really want to give people ideas, and we also have staff that are here to support. So every big and little match has a match support specialist that's checking in on them regularly, making sure everything's going okay. And a lot of our volunteers maybe don't have kids. I don't have kids, and I was a big for a long time. And so, maybe you have 3 ideas of what to do with a 10-year-old kid, and you did those.
Yeah.
Our staff's here to help.
That's so great. So the message there is you're not alone. If you want to come and volunteer,
That's right.
they have the resources for you available to help you out and to make it an easy process for you, or as easy as possible.
That's right.
So don't be scared. Just come. Just talk to someone like Nichole who knows, and they will help you out, steer you in the right direction. Is there anything that you think that people should know? Like, what's the most important thing that is out there for people to know if they want to come and volunteer at Big Brothers Big Sisters?
We've covered a lot of it. You've done a great job with your questions. I think one of the things that we hear from our volunteers when we ask them to speak to other prospective volunteers or at one of our events, they tell us they signed up because they wanted to make a difference in the community. It was a New Year's resolution or, whatever it was. They wanted to make a difference. And they feel like it has such a positive impact on them ultimately. They feel like they're getting as much out of it as their little brother or little sister. One of these days I'm going to have one of our littles teach me how to do an Instagram story. You can learn a lot from I know you could teach me, but there's just amazing things. These youth have awesome perspectives, and it's really a 2-way learning experience. And one of the things that we've talked a lot about here at Big Brothers Big Sisters in the last couple of years is what we do best is build relationships, and we are helping to build bridges across our community. You've got an adult volunteer and a youth and their family that probably have very different backgrounds. And they're getting to know each other, spending time in different parts of the community together. And really, that's how that's how you build a stronger community, is to have those relationships throughout. So
yes, and I think something that's really great about what you guys do also is you take the time to recognize those matches at those events.
Yes.
And when I emceed it, there was a whole list of different anniversaries that were being met. 1 year, 5 year. There was a lot going on, and people. You could tell that people really cared and enjoyed the time that they spent with their matches, whether it was the big or the little. You saw people giving each other hugs, and there were tears, and just there's a lot that goes into this. And I think one thing that is important to mention is just it doesn't always take a lot to make an impact. So even if you can only do 1 year, that's still a big impact in the life of a child, or even a teenager. They're still a child, but it can make such an impact on their future and give them more avenues for their life of where they, maybe they're kind of lost. It's not always a one-parent home, but maybe that's the situation, and they're just lacking that other adult. In their life, like you said, when people move away or something like that, it's kind of a shock it does more harm than it does good. Right. So that commitment of a year is really important, and you can just do so much. The opportunity is endless for the difference that you can make coming to a place like Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I really appreciate that about you guys.
Well, thank you.
And I know you guys do great things. You're not just out there by yourself. You partner with other organizations.
We do.
I know, like I had told you when we were speaking through email, that I first came into contact. I had known about Big Brothers Big Sisters and done stuff in the past. I think I went to get ice cream or something from E-Creamery.
Oh, good.
But at my full-time employer, there was a lunch and learn, and Big Brothers Big Sisters and Kids Can and teammates were all over there. And I learned that you guys partner with Kids Can, which at that time I lived in South Omaha, and Kids Can was right down the street from my house.
Okay.
And we went and volunteered a couple times a year to Kids Can. But I didn't know that you guys were connected. So you have relationships with other organizations as well.
We do. You know, we really feel like, in fact, it's part of our strategic plan. Partnerships and collaborations are so important. None of us can do it all on our own. No organization can stand alone. And so Kids Can is a great partner to us. Their CEO is actually a big brother in our program. He started off as a mentor in their program, and then his mentee reached an age where he wasn't going to be going to Kids Can anymore. And so that's one of the aspects of our partnership, is we take those matches on.
Yes.
We're also a fairly new partnership with the YMCA. The YMCA used to do more with mentoring programs of their own, and they're phasing those out. And they felt like they could have a bigger impact on the community and on youth mentoring by recruiting their members of their branches. I think there's 20,000 adult members at the Ys in Omaha Council Bluffs. So if we can just get a fraction of those to sign up as big as, it's going to be huge. So we've been going out and doing presentations at the Ys. And there are just a lot of different ways we can partner. We always want to be a good partner too. So we've adopted Benson Park, do cleanups there. Not when there's this much snow on the ground, but
I don't think you get many volunteers.
But you know, that's really important too. Is what can we bring to the table? We don't have a ton of resources, but how can we partner?
Effort.
That's right.
It takes a village.
Yes.
So. Man, there's so many great things that we could touch on about what you guys do, and I think it's great that you allow or you partner with corporations and things like that, like you were mentioning, to get discounts for tickets or things like that to go to the zoo or like a beef game or a storm chaser game or something like that.
Absolutely.
There's so many great things, and you know, being very fortunate and allowing my kids sometimes seem to be spoiled. They get to do whatever they want. But just thinking about kids that don't necessarily have those opportunities on a daily basis in and out, that is one really big thing. Because, you know, it's nice to have things to look back on as a kid. To, you know, you hear other kids, oh, I did this when I was gone for the summer from school or whatever. You know, some kids may not have those stories, and this provides them an extra opportunity to be able to tell one of those stories.
Absolutely.
So again, you can make so much of an impact by coming, even if it's not with Big Brothers Big Sisters. There's other organizations out there that you can go and volunteer with, and like she said, it's not every week. It's a 4-hour commitment. If you are able to, please find the time. And don't be scared about not knowing what to do, because they're there for that. And there's so many different resources that you can tap into and find out information. Is there any final note that you would like to speak about before we close down?
You know, we've touched on it a little bit here in the last minute or two, but if people come to an information session and decide, you know, this isn't the right time, my significant other and I are about to have a baby, maybe I shouldn't be a mentor, or for whatever reason, it's not a commitment you want to make, there are a lot of other ways to help and to get involved. And not everybody signs up after an info session, and we know that. That's the plan. Like, make an informed decision. You know, you can have us out to your place of worship or your company to present to prospective volunteers. You can participate in our Bowl for Kids' Sake fundraiser, donate tickets, hook us up with a discount if you own a small business. There are a lot of different ways that people can support and get involved. So,
well, and I think I saw people one time when I came over, they were sorting out like giveaway bags or something like that. So there's many different opportunities to every position plays like a major role. So just come to the team, you know, they will find something for you to do. There'll be some way for you to give back. And I just love the community aspect of this, and like thinking about making the world a better place, you know, after we're gone. I mean, how else can we do that? That's the best way. Teach the kids better, you know, be there for them, and have a place where they can come and feel comfortable, or someone that they can speak with, you know, or even if it's just that breakaway. Maybe they are having a hard life, and maybe they get that hour a week or every other week that really makes them feel like they have something that they can hold on to, and it's stability again.
Yep.
So,
chance to be a kid.
Yes, a chance to be a kid. Everybody deserves that chance. Where can we find Big Brothers Big Sisters?
So you can find Big Brothers Big Sisters online at mentoromaha.org, by phone, of course. And although I don't know how to do an Instagram story, there are people here that do. So we're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, a lot of different ways to connect with us.
There you have it. Make sure that you might not speak to her. She's a busy woman. She made time in her schedule to meet with us today. But you can speak with someone from Big Brothers Big Sisters. If you have any questions, we'll make sure to have the website and the social media pages, links and everything on the video, and we'll share it all over. If you see this, please help us out, help us raise awareness, hit the share button, tell your friends about it, come and volunteer, whatever it takes. Just please help. That's what it is. One thing I would like to mention, we are looking for sponsors for What's Up Omaha. If you know a small business who would be interested in helping the show and or the time that we take to do this. Joe behind the camera, who you cannot see, is taking time to help us record this video. Thank you, Joe. But we're looking for sponsors, so reach out to me. We'll make sure to put that information at the end of the video as well, so you can contact me. And as we end every video, smile, help someone else smile, laugh and help someone else laugh. That's what it is all day, every day. Have a wonderful day, y'all. Stay safe.